What's up, y'all? It's your brother here with this week's required reading. There is a lot that I'd love to share, but I'm going to try to keep it brief because I just thought this was a really, really, really good article. The title is The Mind Readers by Moises Velasquez-Manoff in this Sunday's, what do you expect, New York Times, August 30th. And it will blow your mind, for lack of a better lack of a better phrase. So in essence, they're talking about just the advances in technology and being able to read the brain and gather information, but not only gather information. And the type of information I'm talking about is being able to connect sensors and based on the sensor reading, you could recreate what the person is actually viewing. Now, they've started to kind of make some headway in this, but the thing that takes this to a whole nother level is that it's just not just that one way where there's an output of information that the technology will be able to read, but also being able to, stimulate and somewhat manipulate the brain and give triggers that would actually inform action, behavior, feeling, right? And so the great thing is that this is something that is an asset, particularly when you're talking about paralysis, those who have not been able to feel, touch with their hands, that you could actually use technology to be able to connect and prompt and give those feelings, right? That cannot be overstated, right? Some of these opportunities, but there's always an ethical issue, an ethical kind of landscape that you jump into, right? Right, which is, if you could draw people's thoughts and you could see people's thoughts, you may have a new liar liar movie, right? Where it can go to the place where imagine if someone could read your thoughts unsolicited. Now, this may seem really wild and far off, but that's why I really want you to read this because I think Moises does an amazing job actually going through and talking through the different areas of how this could impact our world. Right? And even talked about even the ability to zap urges, right? So if you're someone who you're struggling with concentrating, this would allow this technology would allow you to actually curb that urge based on brain patterns, right? That correlate to when you struggle to actually focus. Now that may seem positive, but there's also the flip side of just like where you can almost be cosmetic, where we've seen this type of dynamic or dialogue when it comes to even reproduction and people somewhat cosmetically picking and trying to craft the type of profile of child that they would want. You almost may run into people almost trying to craft the profile of thinking, right? Because even part of your personality is the way you think, your tendencies. Well, this opens the door to a whole lot. And so I would strongly, strongly, strongly recommend, like I always do each week, for you to read this article, The Mind Readers, again by Moises Velasquez-Manoff. I think it is tremendous. I think it's worth your time. It's a pretty meaty read, but it just seems like one of those Black Mirror type episodes. But this thing is powerful, and you run into the ethical things like the fire that warms you is the fire that burns you, right? There's a lot of responsibility with power, and this is one of those things where you're just like, man, do you even want to go? Do the benefits of this outweigh the potential negative impact? And I don't know. I don't think you could put a price to that, but I think I'll leave it to you to read this article and let me know what you think. All right, take care, y'all.